Welcome back, viewers. Now have a look at this diagram. How do we determine the area of the red square? So if you go to the whiteboard, for you to determine the area of the red square, you've been told the red region is a square. So that means the sides are equal. Now, this is very simple. It is very simple by just using a simple trick. If you look at this diagonal, if I label this diagram A, B, C, D. So if you look at the diagonal from point A to point C, that diagonal from A to C is 2 plus 5 plus 3. It is 2 plus 5 plus 3, which is a total of 10. So the diagonal AC of the rectangle is 10. But if you look at the diagonal inside the square region, it's only 5. So it means the square region is taking a half of the diagonal. So if the square region is taking a half of the diagonal of the rectangle is 10, but the diagonal inside the square region is only 5. So the square region is only taking a half of that. Meaning if the height of this rectangle BC is h, if the height of this rectangle BC is h, then it means from D to C is going to be 2h. Because the height is going to be a half of the length. Because the square is only taking a half of the diagonal. The diagonal is 10, but the diagonal portion inside the square is 5. So it means the length is 2h if the height is h. So if you use Pythagoras theorem, if this is 2h, of course, this is also h. If you use Pythagoras theorem, the sum of the squares of the two shorter sides of a right angle triangle is equals to the square of the hypotenuse. So we'll have h squared plus 2h squared is equals to hypotenuse squared from A to C, which is 10 squared. So that is going to be h squared plus 2h squared is going to be 4h squared is equals to 100. 10 squared is 100. H squared plus 4h squared is 5h squared, which is equivalent to 100. So if you divide both sides by 5, you get h squared is 100 divided by 5, which is 20. That is 20. So what do we have? We have the area of the square. A square, the height is the same as the length. So if this is h, then it means the length of the square is also h. H times h. So it means the area of the square is h squared, which is 20. Now that is one of the simplest tricks you can use. I want to show you another simpler trick you can also use to get the square area. Now another simpler means to get the red square region. If the hypotenuse here is 5, if we have a known x, if the hypotenuse here is 5, then the opposite length there becomes 5x. If the hypotenuse here is 2, then the opposite there becomes 2x. If the hypotenuse here is 3, then the opposite there becomes 3x. So it means from here up to here will also be 3x. So if you see, from this point to this point is the same as from A to D, which is 2x plus 5x plus 3x. That is a total of 10x. So it means if this red region is a square, if the height is 10x, then it means the width or the length is also 10x. So if you take this triangular region in the middle here, this is a right angle triangle with the two shorter sides and the hypotenuse 5. You can use Pythagoras theorem, meaning 5x squared plus 10x plus 10x squared is equals to the hypotenuse, which is 5 squared. So 5x squared is going to be 25x squared plus 10x squared is going to be 100x squared to be equals to 5 squared is 25. So 25x squared plus 100x squared is 125x squared to be equivalent to 25. Now if we divide both sides by 1 over 125, we get x squared is 25 over 125 is 1 over 5. Now, what is the area of the red square? Remember, the length and the width of the square is the same, 10x. This is 10x by 10x, meaning the red area of the square is 10x squared. And 10x squared is 100. X squared is just x squared. So that is 100x squared. So it is 100 times x squared. But what have we found is x? What have we found to be x squared? 1 over 5. So where there is x squared, we put the value of x squared, which is 1 over 5. So 100 times 1 over 5, the red area is 20. Ladies and gentlemen, you can actually use any trick from the Euclid geometry to determine the red square area. If you have another simpler method, you can leave it in the comments section. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you again in our next presentation.